This week on Emily Celtics Weekly, the Celtics blow away two teams from the West Coast before a battle with the Knicks in New York. In a memorable ceremony, Dennis Johnson's number is added to the ranks of Celtic greats at the Boston Garden. And Casey Jones brings together local celebrities who hit the links for a good cause. All this and more next on Emily Celtics Weekly.
Emily Celtics Weekly, brought to you by Emily Motor Oil. Better than it has to be. And now, here's your host, Mike Gorman.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Gorman, and welcome to Emily Celtics Weekly. Well, the Celtic roster is finally starting to look like what most people thought it would at the beginning of the season. 2 weeks ago, Brian Shaw returned to the lineup, and then last Friday night, Kevin McHale made his first appearance in 9 games. Now, last week, the Celtics had 3 games, the first 2 at home on the parquet, where, well, it's been a very good floor for the Celtics to play on. The Denver Nuggets would get out of the blocks quickly on this night. A quick steal, Winston Garland for the layup, and the Nuggets had a 6-0 lead. Dikembe Mutombo was the player everyone came to see, and he performed in the first half with 19 points. But the Celtics got back in it. Brian Shaw finds Kevin Gamble here for a layup, and the Celtics have a 6-30-24 lead. Then it's Reggie Lewis coming up with another of the many blocks he's had this year. On the fast break, back to Reg again, over to Bird. 14 for Larry, and the Celtics led by 8 after 1. Larry Bird, good look here for a cutting Rick Fox, and the lead balloons to 13. And then a great pass, maybe the best pass of the night, coming up from Bird. Just a look, the down and out to Reggie Lewis, and the Celtics are up 61-48. Marcus Liberty, one of the great names in the game, with the dunk, and the Celtic lead is cut to 7. But then Gamble to Bird, and then back to Gamble again. 9 for Kevin on the night, and the Celtics had an 11.65-54 lead. Larry Bird would find Reggie Lewis there for the layup. The Celtic lead went to 13. Rick Fox, 16 points and 3 steals. Led by 17 now, the Celtics did, 87-70. And finally, Reggie Lewis comes up with his 31st point of the night, and the Celtics win in a rout.
Just went out there, got into my rhythm early, and my teammates started to find me, and, the shots were flowing tonight.
And the guys who, coming off the bench have been playing very well and tenacious defensively. And they just went back out there and reasserted themselves. We were just getting careless. We kept on building up big leads and then getting too much showboating out there and taking bad shots and just not making the simple plays. And the guys off the bench came back and reasserted themselves.
The Chief is really physical and they play a really tough game. He bumped you every time. He's not like one of those old guys that let you try and score on him easily. You get hit before you score on him, and so that's what he played a really physical game. I like that.
We played really good defense, and we got the ball out on the break, and I think it got us in the flow offensively.
I think we lost the game in transition, though. I don't think it was a two-man game. I think their fast break hurt us immensely tonight, and we have not been vulnerable to that this season.
An emotional night Friday night at the Boston Garden as number 3, Dennis Johnson's number raised to the rafters, and Casey Jones there to look on. Once the game started, Larry Bird found Reggie Lewis going through the back door, and the Celtics had an early lead. Bird would have a great night, 28 points, including that lefty runner to put Boston up by 8. Kevin McHale back and looking like the old Kevin McHale. Celtics by 3 in the second, 30-27. Joe Klein with the quick hands there to break up a pass, gets it to Brian Shaw to Pinckney. Pretty play, and the Celtics lead by 5. Brian Shaw, a great night coming back. His best so far, 24 points and 6 assists. And also able to find the open man. It's Rick Fox this time, and the Celtics lead by 9, 44-35. Bagley to Gamble to Lewis. Reggie with 10. The Celtics have a 15-point lead in the third. Ricky Pierce looking for the free throw record and misses his first attempt. Michael Cage comes up with a steal here in the second half. Gets it ahead to Dana Barros. Some local kids got some minutes for Seattle the other night. Barris had 5 points. Marty Conlon with the steal right there, ex of Providence College. He'll be on the other end for a layup, 12 points from Marty, and Seattle hung around for a while in the second half. Derek McKee had a solid night, 18 points and 6 rebounds for Seattle. But Rick Fox, again, coming up with the big plays for Boston as he has all year long. Keys to fast break right here. Ed Pinckney on the end for the layup. Another W for the Celtics.
Larry Bird was
was extra hot tonight. He just got the ball, fired it up, and it went in. And then Kevin McHale comes in, and he's firing it in. What we were doing was sparring it up and missing.
We started hitting some shots, and we never really could put them away. Every time we got up 12, 15 points, they came back, and it was always one of them games where all the way down the wire, you just think if they made a run, they could have got us.
I felt pretty good when I was out there. You know, I just was trying to get a rhythm going and play again. I think the first time I came back, I was so conservative, trying not to hurt my foot, trying to do things out there. And I just decided now when I come back just to play as hard as I can and play just the way I've always played and to see what happens. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I just go out there and try.
You know, I'm just just happy and fortunate to be healthy, and I'm not going to take that for granted anymore, and just hopefully I can keep building off each performance.
Well, Seattle and Denver proved to be blowouts for the Celtics, but their next contest would not be so easy. On Saturday night, the Celtics travel down to New York to battle their Atlantic Division rivals, the Knicks. And we'll have all the highlights and more when Amalie Celtics Weekly continues. Celtics looking again. There they go. The double team quickly on Parrish. DJ takes it in. Got it. Welcome back to Amalie Celtics Weekly, everyone. On Saturday night, the Celtics were at Madison Square Garden. Now, the Knicks had not lost a game at home this season, but then again, they had not beaten the Celtics in the regular season since 1989. First place in the Atlantic Division at stake, and both teams looking forward to meeting each other.
Anytime you go on the road, it's a big game, but since against the Knicks for the lead in the conference standings, you want to win the game, and they're a lot better club this year, and it'll be a tough match.
It would be without Larry Bird that the Celtics would have to match up against the Knicks, and that's not good news. Patrick Ewing with the spin hook early to give the Knicks a 6-2 lead. John Bagley cuts it to 6-4, but Mark Jackson coming up with a steal. Quickly to Wilkins, and then Xavier McDaniel, who would kill the Celtics on this night, and the Knicks led by 6, 24-18. Again, it's Jackson, and again, it's McDaniel for 2 of his 37. The Knicks lead 29-20. Even Charles Oakley got in the act with the steal. McDaniel, a rare pass to John Starks. He had 17. And the Knicks are on a 13-2 run. John Starks is a heck of a young player. Nice baseline drive there. And then Patrick Ewing coming up with the power dunk. And the Knicks lead by 18, 45-27. The Celtics will get back in this. Shaw to McHale, then to Parrish. Robert had 26 on the night, a 7-0 run. And the Celtics are only down by 11. A Reggie Lewis jump shot. And then Reggie coming right back with the steal and another jump shot. 17 for Reg on the night, but the Knicks still had a 9-point lead, 55-46. John Bagley to Reggie Lewis to Kevin McHale, who misses but hangs with it. And the Knicks lead is down to 5, 59-54. And then Parrish strips Patrick Ewing. Great pass coming up here by John Bagley. Watch the look away as he finds Parrish going down the lane. Bingo. And the Knicks lead 63-58 in the third. Parrish grabs a rebound up to Bagley. John gets the layup. The Celtics have got their first lead in this game, 66-65. But Mark Jackson would have a strong game. Driving layup here to put the Knicks back up by 170-170. And then Parrish gets blocked by Xavier McDaniel. Up to Jackson. He finds the right man. On this night, it was McDaniel. And the Knicks go back up by 6, 76-70. Ewing to Jackson to McDaniel for a little runner. The Celtics trail 84-76 after 3. Again, it's Jackson. He had 17 assists on the night. Patrick Ewing this time with the layup. And then Jackson to McDaniel to finish it off. And the Knicks win, going away. Well, this year now the series between these two clubs stands at 1 game apiece. There are 3 more meetings, 2 in Boston and 1 in New York. Now, obviously, these games are going to be very important because the Knicks, under Pat Riley, are indeed a legitimate contender in the Atlantic Division. Coming up next on Amalie Celtics Weekly, we'll take a look at a special ceremony for a special Celtic.
Another number goes to the rafters.
Well, retirement for most of us comes at around age 65. Maybe a going-away party, sometimes a gold watch. For a professional athlete, though, it comes at a much earlier age, retirement does, and there really isn't a big ceremony. Sometimes, though, for a handful of athletes who have contributions that are considered significant, there is a going-away party. And in their honor, the number they wore is also retired. The Celtics honored one of their former teammates last Friday night. They had a retirement party, and they invited 15,000 people.
It's just amazing what a guy that shoots 44% can do with the ball in his hands at the end of the game when the game's on the line.
Coming to the right, and he gets the pass. Goes into the lane. Jump pass back out to DJ. DJ throws. Oh, that's gone! It's gone! And no time left! It's all over! It is all over!
Paxson, DJ, Danny may have to take a long one. Dennis will. Hits it! Dennis Johnson with 1 on the clock hits a 3!
Thomas wants to get it in quickly. Does to Lambier. Stolen by Bird on the cut to DJ. Yes! Yes, and a foul! Unbelievable!
Let's welcome number 3, DJ Dennis Johnson. Said you were the toughest defender to guard me, and I believe the best backcourt defender of all time. You were such a great contributor for the Celtics on the parquet floor that you certainly deserve to have your number hung above it and from the rafters. Congratulations on a great career. Regards, Irvin Magic Johnson, Jr. And representing the Celtics is Kevin McHale and Larry Bird.
DJ, it was a pleasure playing with you. Having you as a teammate made our job a lot easier. And this award tonight is very deserving and appropriate ending to a great career. And we wish you the very best in the future. Thank you.
He didn't worry about stats. All he wanted to do was win. He showed everything there is about being a Celtic.
First of all, to the team, especially to the older fellas, Robert, Larry, and Kevin, and Chris Ford. I do thank you very much for the gift, and I had the time of my life and a pleasure playing with each and every one of you. Thank you very much. And to Red Auerbach, who is smart enough to make that trade for me. I remember a long time ago, or 7 years ago, when I came here, and my first sight when I came into town is I read a paper and nobody was quite sure if I would fit in. I guess this tells me that you really let me fit in, and I do.
Goes to the rafters.
I thought it was a great moment, a great honor, and a very large compliment to a great player and a fine human being also. So we were just as honored as he was, to see his number raised up in the raffles.
It was just a tremendous night for DJ. I was very happy for DJ. I was very happy to play with him like that, and he acknowledged Robert and I, and Larry, it was a special feeling to look back on all the things that we accomplished. It was really something.
Well, we was all very happy for DJ. Usually when you do something like that, you never played with the individual, but with DJ, we all know him very well. We lived with him for 7 years, and we was all very happy and very honored for him.
I don't know, exactly if that means I'm a legend. It puts a cap on I think I probably said it puts a cap on a real good ending for me, and I couldn't ask for no better ending to a story than this. I really couldn't have.
Quite a night at the Boston Garden on Friday night. Another favorite of the Boston Garden crowd was in town on Friday. Former Celtic coach Casey Jones here with his new team, the Seattle Supersonics. Now, although Casey makes his home now in Washington, he still has many ties to the Boston area, including a lot of important charity work. And we'll take a trip to the Casey Jones annual golf tournament when Amalie Celtics Weekly continues.
You're everything I hope for. You're everything you are so beautiful to me. You're beautiful.
For the past 6 years, Casey Jones has sponsored a golf tournament to benefit people stricken with neurofibromatosis. Now, every summer, Casey comes back to Boston for this very special event.
For the past 6 years, Casey Jones, longtime Celtic favorite and current head coach of the Seattle Supersonics, sets out on the golf course for a good cause. Neurofibromatosis, a rare disease that creates tumors at the nerve endings of the human body, afflicts many people in the nation and currently has no cure. In an effort to raise money and a greater awareness of this problem, Casey Jones and many of his close friends gather every summer for his annual golf tournament in the Boston area.
Jeff Twist, who was with the Celtics as a PR guy, he approached me and asked me what I consider being honorary chairman of neurofibromatosis. And he told me a lot about it, and I said, well, it sounds good, and I'd be happy to be a part of it. And that's how that thing got started. And each year, the thing, this tournament has gotten better, and more people getting into it. And it's appreciated for the youngsters who are afflicted with this disease, neurofibromatosis. These tumors that form into nerve endings, and it's trying to find a cure. And by the donation of these people playing golf, it goes a long ways in helping to find a cure.
This year, the golf tournament was held at the International Golf Course in Bolton, Massachusetts. The combination of a beautiful golf course and loyal contributors to neurofibromatosis have brought great success to the tournament.
We're very, very fortunate to have 144 or so golfers fill it every year, and sometimes more so this year with today's economy, which has been very tough. People have still been there to support it. The entry fee is $375, which is a little bit steep, but still, I think people really see it as a good value because they have an excellent place to play, good friends, and obviously for an excellent cause.
First year we had a profit of about $27,000, and last year was over $60,000. And hopefully this year we can do at least that. And it's tough this year with a tough economy, but we have a full draw today of about 140 golfers.
Loyalty is a key part of KC's tournament, and people have joined together to fight the effects of this disease as a whole.
About 6.5 years ago, I met Jeff and Paul Epstein, and we chatted about it, and they asked me if I would help maybe sponsor a hole. And I said, why sponsor the hole? I'll sponsor the tournament. I used to play a lot of golf as a kid, and when I first was exposed to the handicap, which is about 7 years ago, I mean, to see what some of these children have gone through, really was, it was tough stuff. And so I wanted to do something. And the first year, we didn't know how well we do, but the first year we sold it out. We had 144 golfers. Casey, I don't think really knew what it was, but said he'd help out. And it's been very positive ever since. I mean, Mass General has made some great breakthroughs, not only Mass General, but out in Michigan. And all of this money goes to research, 100% on the dollar. And so it's been very rewarding.
Many noteworthy celebrities took time out of their busy schedules to be on hand for this great event.
It gives all of us an opportunity to pay our dues and in a comfortable format that we enjoy. So, it's a nice way to feel like you're helping out, whatever the cause happens to be. This one is particularly compelling because of our friendship to Casey, I think.
Casey knew me before I was born, if that's possible, but he's known my family for a long time, and my parents are godparents to one of his children, so we're very close, and I don't get to see him very often with the way our two schedules are, so it's nice to get out and sneak a peek at him.
I have a friend of mine whose brother is afflicted with NF, and I've been involved with it for a couple of years, being involved in the thing they have in the winter, the dinner, and come to the golf tournaments. And I know him very well, and I've got to meet a lot of other kids through it. And she actually calls me up and brings me to these, to help out. And it's a great cause, and they're getting closer and closer each day, and hopefully one day we'll have the cure for it.
Casey Jones still doing some wonderful things here in the Boston community. The Celtics have 4 games coming up this week, including the start of a 5-game road trip. This really isn't it. The Celtics will play the Orlando Magic on Tuesday night. Then they come back home. We'll be here on Sports Channel Wednesday night, the Milwaukee Bucks against the Boston Celtics. First time we'll see the Bucks this year. Then on Friday night, we're back at the Garden again. The Utah Jazz with Karl Malone will be on town. And then the Celtics begin that road trip, and they'll begin it in some hot weather as they take on the Miami Heat Saturday night, the 21st. That's going to do it for Amalie Celtics Weekly. For Willie May, I'm Mike Gorman. Have a nice week, everybody.